Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Jason and I am your watch guy today. I'm pretty sure we've all asked ourselves the question, what would have happened if a Rolex Submariner decided to fornicate with a Omega Seamaster in the middle of China? Well, Starking have answered that question for us. This is what I am going to refer to as the Starking Seamariner. I like that one better than Submaster. Yes, Seamariner. Starking Seamariner. Now, this watch has been sent in to me by Starking for free. I don't have to return it. That's why you'll have seen that little paid promotion sign in the corner. Obviously, they're not giving me any cash. This is the payment. So, yeah, just so you're aware. Now, that's not going to sway my opinion or anything like that. You're going to get an honest review because that's all I really have to offer you. Now, it's a lovely looking watch, but there are a couple of things that you should be aware of before you maybe go and look at making a purchase. And if you did want to make a purchase of one of these, I have an affiliate link in the description. If you catch it in the sale, which ends after today, I think, you'll be able to pick it up for £50 and 30 pence or thereabout. Afterwards, I think it's slightly more, not excessive amounts more, but slightly more. So let's turn this camera around and let's get into the review of this Seamariner. So here is our little blue Starking. As I say, they've sent this in to me for free for review, so I can show it off to you guys, and my link is to their official store on AliExpress. That's in the description once again. So we have some very obvious styling cues on this one, but before we get into that, let's talk about the dimensions. This is a 40mm diameter watch, which you may have expected. It's 13.7mm thick, including that case back and bezel. Lug to lug, it is 47.6mm, and the lugs are 20mm. Now, those dimensions are pretty much perfect for me. That's the type of watch that's going to fit on my wrist very nicely, be a very easy wear, and that's what I look for in an easy wear watch, like an everyday wear. And I think a lot of other people do also. Now, one of the good things about this watch, one of the best things about this watch actually, is that it is packed with an NH35 movement. You can see ticking away in the back there. It's an NH35A movement. Now, we all know that I'm a big fan of the NH35. It's a solid movement, it's affordable as hell, and packed into something that is £50 is usually a good sign of a bargain, in my opinion. Now, we can obviously see that it has styling traits of a Submariner in this casing. It is built of 316L stainless steel. We have high polish sides and slightly brushed upper lugs. The brushing on it doesn't really have that really intrusive type of line grind across it. It's quite subdued, but it is a matted type of brush. The casing feels really nice and familiar, and I'm pretty sure it would do to a lot of people that have bought this style watch in the past. The crown sits very nicely in between these two crown guards over here. It is a screwed down crown. The thread on it feels actually quite good quality. That winding motion is the quality that you'd usually expect from an NH35. Again, very familiar. The crown does have really good levels of grip, and it is signed with the Starking logo on the top there, which I enjoy. I like it when a brand signs their goods. As you can see, it is a display case back on this one here. You can see that NH35A taken away in the background, beating away like a good workhorse should. As you can see on the outer edge of the crystal, it does have the usual type of specifications that you'd expect, and the model number down at the bottom there, AM0284. This is packed with a 120 click unidirectional bezel, which I think is actually a really good quality bezel for the price that you're paying. There's a slight amount of play in it, like the tiniest amount, hardly any wobble. I think this is fitted really well, and I'm actually quite impressed by the bezel on this one. It is a blue metallic insert, not a ceramic bezel on this one. We have stainless steel indices around the bezel with a 15-minute dive indicator over here on the right hand side. Arabics at the 10, 20, 30, 40 and 50 with batons in between for the 5-minute indicators. We have this triangle here at the 12 o'clock. So this one isn't actually sapphire, it's a Hardlex crystal built into this here watch case. It does provide this watch with 100 meters of water resistance, this casing, which is kind of expected from an AliExpress type of Submariner homage. That's the standard, really. It's nothing too surprising. As we move on into this dial, you can see that it really does have a nice wave type of effect on it. It catches that light really nicely. This comes in both blue and green. They've sent me the blue version, as you can see, but it does also come in a really nice green version, which again has a nice wave pattern on the dial and fitted with a green bezel insert. So if you're not too keen on this colour, you can pick it up in a different one. And that wave effect really does give a nice texture effect to the dial, which I quite like. It's a nice 3D type of effect. We have applied indices around the dial with a stainless steel border and a loomed centre. I will get to that loom at the end of the video. If you want to see that, stick around. Now we have a double baton at the 12 o'clock, single baton at the 6 and 9, date window over here at the 3, and we have circular indices at the rest of the hour markers. We have a nice printed white minute track around the edge of this dial, as you can see on the outer edge of the indices there. As well as that print, we also have the Starking logo up at the 12 o'clock and the 300 foot 100 meter automatic label just above the 6 o'clock. Now what really sets off the Seamaster type of vibe in this watch is this handset. I actually really like this handset. They're a little bit different and not every homage gets these right. So we have a loom tip on the top of both of these and stainless steel borders with a skeletonized middle. The second hand is a lollipop style second hand with a syringe type of finish at the top that reaches straight out to that minute track. Gives a nice sweeping effect around the dial. Now this is where I would usually insert my loom shot, but as I say, I will be saving that till the end, which you can probably guess what that means. So moving on from this dial, we move to this here bracelet that they've supplied this watch on. It's got a polished center link with brushed outer links. It's a oyster style bracelet. I like that the end links are female, but they really do miss the gap on the lugs of this watch, which isn't exactly a great design feature. It doesn't look brilliant. It looks like a bit of an afterthought. Now the links are pins, split pins on these, so very easy to change out. This clasp is pressed. We have a safety clasp here. Just fold this out, press clasp. Unfortunately, Starking logo printed on the clasp itself. Fully brushed clasp. We do have 4 levels of micro adjust, which is a good standard, I believe. Now I am going to jump into my moan section in a second, but first let me put this on wrist and show you how it looks on my 6.2 inch wrists and give you a representation of how it will look. So here is the Starking AM0284 on wrist. It's actually a lot more comfortable than I expected because I thought that bracelet wouldn't be very nice on wrist, but it actually fits quite well and it conforms quite well too. I think a lot of that is owed to these female end links. Now, I do have a few moans for this one. There are a few things that you probably want to consider before you make a purchase or before you consider making a purchase. So let me get it off wrist and let me talk to you about those. So first of all, I'm going to start you off with this loom shot. And it's quite ironic that I have this Zelos in shot here because this is absolutely outstanding for loom. It's exactly the opposite of what this Starking is really, which is a shame. So let me show you what I'm talking about. Here's the loom shot here. As you can see, not exactly a lot of loom packed onto this one. To say that it's a homage of two dive watches, it's not very, very heavily loomed. You can definitely tell that that is the first part that they have cheaped out on a little bit with this watch. This is where they're cutting the costs down. Now, moving on from that, we have this Cyclops. Now, I actually think that this is a good level of magnification. I'm not always a big fan of Cyclopses, but this one kind of suited the date window. But look at how heavily misaligned it is. I mean, it's slanted heavily to the bottom. And yeah, I don't know how that's got through quality control, unless there's just zero of it. That is absolutely horrendous. I'm definitely going to be burning that off. So yeah, probably not the best example for Starking to send out to a reviewer. I have seen these on other channels. The Chosen Watch had one on earlier in the week, I believe. Check his one out because he doesn't have this issue at all. So I do think that's just my one, but still not a great representation. As well as that misalignment, I'm just going to bring the watch in nice and close here. I am convinced that that 6 o'clock in the sea is misaligned to the left. It definitely is, isn't it? It's not just me seeing things. That's definitely misaligned. Adding to that, there are plenty of places where they have cut costs on this one and you can really tell. There's a lot of sharper edges, even around the bracelet. The bracelet feels really cheap. And press clasp, again, you want to see milled clasps on anything, and yeah, that's not great. I feel like the bracelet was a bit of an afterthought on it, which is a real shame. As well as that, they've packed these with Hardlex crystals instead of a sapphire crystal. Usually at this price range, I'd completely let that go, but there's also a lot of other players in this type of field. You've got the Pagani Designs of the world, the Parnas, the Felida that are up and coming. They all pack their watches with sapphire crystal, and it's becoming something to expect from a watch even at this price. So it's a bit of a letdown that Starking haven't packed that into this one. So guys, our little Seamariner here does have a few issues for you to consider. I think it's a lovely watch. Honestly, without that Cyclops, that's what's really thrown me off. I don't often get quality control issues, even with the watches that I buy. You know, I concentrate a lot on a budget market where you'd expect a lot of quality control issues, but I don't get them often. And when I do get them, they're excessively minor. Nothing like this. Nothing at all like this. And that's really let me down, to be honest. That being said, thank you, Starking, for sending this one in to me. I do appreciate you sending a watch to me to review. Maybe next time just check the Cyclops first. Just an idea. Probably won't be getting another one, but you know, yeah. If you were at all interested in buying this watch, guys, the affiliate link is in the description. If you catch it in the sale, it's £50.30 at the moment. They do seem to fluctuate a little bit, so try and catch it there. Thank you for watching this, guys. Please do remember to subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in the next one.